Boom, boom. This is Kendra, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so we got a little bit of Bleach Immortal Souls up today, and the event we've been waiting for has finally dropped. Ulquiorra is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. So we finally got the Soul Hall member that we needed to complete the Tortoise Sage team. So that's him right there, version 2. Ulquiorra Resurreccion is what they call it. I hope I said that, Resurreccion. So if you want to do any of that, so let's take a look and show you what you get. And we need to pull for them. You need 5 pulls. 5 pulls will get you 25 shards because you get 5 shards each pull guaranteed. Okay, because Summon 10 guarantees you the shards, so you get 5 each pull, and you get the rewards. We'll give you 2 more for 27, 2 more for 29, and 2 more for 31, and you only need 30 to combine him. So if you look in the bag, you'll see that I have 1 left over. Right here, 1. Okay, so 5 pulls. I'm not going to build him right now because I just simply don't have the enough to go forward and continue to do it. That would be, and plus I'm not going to be using him at this time. Maybe in the future I will, because really, when you look at the Tortoise team, there's only Yuraku really right now in UR format, and which is who I'm using. I'm using Yuraku because I like Yuraku. Ulquiorra is probably stronger in terms of power, but I think, I like Yuraku simply because he's a tank. He has good survivability, and I like the fact that he hits the back row, so that's helpful as well too. But I'm finding out that the strongest character right now is actually Ichigo, and I'll explain to you that here shortly. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're getting here, and why you need to get Ulquiorra version 2. First of all, if you look at full Hollow Ichigo, it completes the bonds. He had a couple of bonds with him. He has the Fierce Fighting in Las Noches and the Fully Holified to Protect. So you need V2 for that. This one right here, I assume, is going to be Ichigo's final form, which is when he combined with Zangetsu and turned it, got the black miasma cape and all that stuff. I assume that's going to be this one, but it's not listed yet. But that's the only other form that I would really consider Ichigo to take. He had to, in the finals, there in the second to last season and in the final season where he got his blazer, but I don't think that really not going to happen in terms of being considered a form. I think this is going to be his final form that he beat Aizen with, because Aizen combined with the Hagoku, and then they fought the last battle there right before he lost his powers. So I'm assuming that's probably what it is. I could be wrong, but that's just a guess. But I think that's what this one's going to be. So we'll have to get to him when it comes out. But it also completes that. He also is needed if you want to link up the initiative inside your team. If you go into the archives, you will see that you needed him to complete the initiative stage. So this is if you want to take him up to purple in terms of his initiative. You're going to have B2 or Ulquiorra. And last but not least, Ulquiorra does complete the Soul Hall for the Tortoise. One too far. Yeah, right here, Black Tortoise Sages Hall. So it requires Ulquiorra Resurreccion. Now you do not have. This is a Soul Hall, so you will not have an actual statue for him. But just like you don't for the others, but you will need him to complete the Soul Hall team. And as you can see, you've really only got, in terms of actual, powerful tortoises, Yuraku seems to be the strongest right now. You probably got Yuraku. Tessai's pretty good. Okay, but Renji just does not have any power whatsoever. Was really unimpressed with the setup they had for him. I assume they'll be coming out with a better version of him. And then they've got Miura, probably third. His poison helps out a little bit. And Kamamaru's got some pretty good tankiness going with him too. But in terms of just damage and tankiness, I think Yuraku's the best. He's the captain. So that's who I'm using in terms of for my team. But yeah, so definitely want to get him. do the 5 shards unless you're going to seriously build him, and then of course go until you can get at least enough to get him up to multiple stars, because when you get him, he's only going to be since he's only 30, he's only going to be 2 stars. Okay, so it doesn't take much. It only takes another 40 to get him to 3 stars. What I did with Ichigo, Full Hollow Ichigo, was I went and got him. I managed to get him at 3 stars, enough shards for it, and then I just used Omni shards to get him up, to get him his 4th star, because he was definitely going to be going straight into my team. So that's how I handled that. Now, so he's got an excellent skill set. Okay, excellent skill set. Deals damage. And because he's a tortoise, there's a lot of defense in there. So you're going to see a lot of defense in from him as well. I think, but I think what's actually going to be, he's definitely going to be tank, because most of the black tortoises are. But to make him really effective tank, you need to have black tortoise allies on the field. Okay, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot at this time that's going to be enticing. You put in a lot of black tortoises, you're going to lose your power. Okay, none of the black tortoises is not power. They're tanks. Okay, they can do damage, and some can do pretty good damage, but they're just not in terms of actually dealing out the most power. You've got to look at your Azure Dragons and your White Tigers for that. And so putting all these black tortoises out to get an extra 5%, you'd have to put 3 out. You can only get 15. So that's going to take away a lot of what could be power slots. So if you want to do it, and I'm sure they'll be coming out with some better black tortoises in the future. But we'll have to see. But right now, it's just probably not a very viable team if you want to get some damage out. Now, what I noticed when I was doing the squad boss this morning was Ichigo, Fully Hollow Ichigo, is now my most powerful character. What happened was, I was going through the squad boss. So I'll pull up my formation here. So what happened was, so this is the setup that I had. These 4, of course, went down. Okay, after the second Zero from the squad boss. Okay, he was very, very low, and he was very, very low. So Yuraku did the hit, did some damage. Then Ichigo did his hit. Okay, but when he did his hit, he life-stealed. So he got like almost a full slot of health back. So when the Zero did its stomp, Yuraku went down. He went out. But Ichigo was still alive. He hit, did more life steal, got some health back. So this went like 3 times where the squad boss was stomping, and Ichigo was life stealing it back when he would hit him. So it was pretty cool. I think it took him like on the 3rd time he finally went down, but he was the only one alive, and he stayed in for an extra 2 slots. So he's definitely at this point, I'd say he's probably. I don't have Aizen. Aizen's just it's just not my cup of tea. I assume he's probably pretty powerful as well too. You have to, but in my team, Full Hollow Ichigo is the most powerful at this point. Once I get him up to, once I get him up to a 5-star, which is what he's probably. I was originally going to do White Ichigo as my next 5-star, but now since if you look at the power output, he's doing 53.9. He's beating Kenpachi, and he's beating White Ichigo, and White Ichigo's got an extra 2 on his weapon that Ichigo does not, but he's still doing more in terms of damage. Okay, a lot of it happened when the 15% increase on his hit points and 15% increase on his attack whenever these 2 bonds were linked, which is really why you need to get B2 even if you're not going to use him. The only thing he's lacking, he's beating Ichigo in terms of everything. He's got better defense. He's even got more health. Okay, so he's Ichigo does a lot of crit which makes him, and I've got more bonds, but even that, it's still showing a less power up. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and throw him into Ichigo, because his next skill is an actual damage increase, which will give him even more damage. So that's where I'm at this point. I'm probably just going to go ahead and throw the stars into Ichigo. You know, I've still got a ways to go. I'm about 50 short, 70 short. So, but you know, getting through them, waiting for the events to come up, waiting for the next event to roll out, that we can have, so we can get some more Omni shards and just keep pumping through it, and getting him up. I can probably bring one of the others up earlier, but at this point, I'll probably just go ahead and decide to use it on Ichigo since he seems to be tanking for the best. So that's probably the strategy I'll be using at this time. But yeah, so you definitely want to go with Ulquiorra just to get those links for full Hollow Ichigo, because they do make a difference in terms of his damage, health, and all of his other stats, making him a pretty powerful character. Everybody surmised that he was most likely going to be the most powerful character out at this time, and I would have to agree with that at this point. But if you look at the initiative though, there's going to be a lot of characters coming out. As you can see, they've got 96. So as you can see, we've got quite a bit of characters coming out. So we'll probably see some pretty. I assume we'll see Aizen's combined form with the Yogyoku, and I assume we'll see Ichigo's final form with Zangetsu when they fought there, when he lost his powers shortly after. So I assume we'll see those two coming out in the future. I got a feeling that's what one of the links are going to be, with that bond that Ichigo needs to come up with. I assume that's what that link, to fill that link, will probably need that character. And it hasn't been wrong, Ichigo. It hasn't been released yet, so it's not surprising. But I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. So it's called the Ichigo Kurosaki Bond, and it'll give you an extra 15% attack, which is always nice. Right here. I assume that's what it's going to be. So we'll probably see that sometime. Hopefully sometime. I assume they'll have a big release, or a big sometime this time around the holiday season, of some excellent characters that we can add to the teams. But for right now, I'm pretty much set where I need to be. So I'm going to start focusing on this team, start focusing on the stars, and leveling them up through the gold and getting into the mystics. So we'll have to see what goes with that. But yeah, so he's up. So you might want to get in there and pull for him. It just came up this morning. So get your 5 pulls in, get him. More if you're going to build him up and use him for a Tortoise Sage team. All right. So thanks a lot for watching the video, and remember to subscribe to my channel. Once you have subscribed, you'll see a bell. If you click on that bell, you get notified each time I drop a video. So this is Kenrir coming at you from the corner, signing out.